right, so here we are. We're going to look at the verb to have, ter, as it's pronounced in Portuguese. One more time, it's ter. And we're looking at some common conjugations and some phrases as they're used in European Portuguese. So the first tense we're going to look at is the past imperfect, and it's used to describe a past action or state which is incomplete. This tense will tell you or indicate that an action which has gone over a period of time, or it's something that has happened frequently. Okay, so on this slide, you'll notice that I have the subject pronouns. This is kind of the standard way that I set this up for each one of the slides that have conjugations. So the reason that the subject pronouns are in parentheses is really to kind of continuously indicate the idea that you don't really need to use them. They're not mandatory to use. Especially when you're in conversation with somebody and the context is clear as to what's going on. You'll also notice that each conjugation, each verb form for each subject pronoun goes with it, matches, with the exception of ele, ela, você, third person singular and third person plural. There are obviously three different entities that you could look at there. But again, the direct context of the conversation that you're having with somebody, or if you're reading something in a magazine or a book, you're going to notice that you're going to know who's performing the action. So we'll go through. I'll pronounce them and give you guys a chance to repeat after so that you can and then I'll say it one more time. So like that, for any of you, those of you that are using this as an educational tool to practice pronunciation, you'll have that for your own use. So eu tinha is I had. The next one, tu tinhas. And that's the you, but it's an informal you. And again, if you notice in English, all of the different conjugations for English are had, right? I had, you had, he or she had, we had, they had, right? There's no differentiation, but in Portuguese, that's clearly different. There's a different conjugation for each one. And eu tinha, tu tinhas, ele, ela tinha, você tinha, ele, ela tinha, você tinha. So you have the he, she, ele, ela, and then the you formal, the formal you, você, tinha. And that one does match up with the eu form of this verb, of this conjugation in this tense. Then we move on to the plural forms of the verb with nós tínhamos, and that's we had. And then we'll move on to eles, elas tinham, eles, elas tinham, and then vocês tinham. So there you have the they, masculine, mixed group for eles, and then we have the elas, the they but female group, and then the you plural, y'all, vocês. And here's a couple of sentences that you can use just to illustrate how this would be used in a sentence. Eu tinha de ir à escola todos os dias. Eu tinha de ir à escola todos os dias. So if you notice when I'm speaking that, when I'm reading that sentence as authentically as I can, a lot of it kind of gets jumbled together, right? It gets blended together. So eu tinha de ir à escola. You'll normally hear that eu tinha de ir à escola, so it becomes a de ir à escola. Tinha de ir à escola todos os dias. Even todos os dias kind of gets blended together from todos os dias to todos os dias. So again, words that end in a consonant that play into a word that has a vowel at the beginning. A lot of times those get blended together. So todos os dias instead of todos os dias. Nobody speaks like that, right? Authentically, you're going to hear eu tinha de ir à escola todos os dias. And that just means I have to go to school every day. All right, well, thank you for listening to part one of the verb ter, and we'll look at the other most common tenses, past, present, and future for that verb in the next few videos. But didn't want to bog you down with too long of a video, but if you want to like and subscribe to this channel, you'll absolutely get notifications, or at least you might want to turn those on as well, so you can get the notifications, and you'll definitely be updated on when that next video comes out, which should be relatively soon. Até a próxima.